welcome back to the Weekdaily podcast with me, Chris Betts. I took a bunch of time off after the Black Lives Movement started to gather a lot of momentum because I didn't want to take up valuable real estate on the internet, and so instead I spent my time sort of reading up and trying to retweet or add thoughts as much as I could. But now that the sort of surge is over and we're all trying to figure out how to incorporate it into our daily lives, I think there might be space for my silly news show, so I'm back. With that in mind, here are today's headlines. After having claimed to have dealt excellently with COVID-19, China has had to shut Beijing down in the face of a second wave. What we see now is live footage from the Chinese People's Congress on how they're dealing with the disease. Truly inspirational. Now, this second wave couldn't come at a worse time for China, since it seems like they're finally about to go to war with India. If the US and Russia are the Ross and Rachel of nuclear powers, I think we can all agree that India and China are the Monica and Chandler. It was bound to happen, but we're not as invested because they're not as likable. It's been a tumultuous few weeks for the UK. In a shockingly bold move, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced a commission to investigate racial inequality in the UK while simultaneously withholding information from a report about racial inequality in the UK. This guy is a one-man human centipede. Prime Minister has appointed Munira Mirza to lead the commission. I apologize if I said that name incorrectly. See, I haven't heard it out loud yet. I get all my news from written sources because I am smug. Now, Mirza seems like an odd choice to lead a commission investigating structural racism, since she has openly declared that she does not believe in structural racism. That's like asking Mick Jagger to investigate how old is too old to wear leather pants. Now, one thing that has become heartening about this Mirza appointment is the groundswell of condemnation towards it. It's just nice to see a woman of color finally not judged on her gender or her race, but on her total inability to do the job. Progress. In other UK news, 2 Britons have ended New Zealand's 3-week coronavirus-free streak. Nothing says more of a return to British values than spreading disease in the colonies. Welcome back, guys. My personal favorite story while I was away happened in Bristol, and it was the tearing down of a statue of slave trader and 100% certified bad guy, Edward Colston. A lot of people jumped to defend Colston for some reason. The main 2 reasons that they gave were that since slavery was very common at the time, Colston can't be blamed for his involvement in it. And there's really something surreal about watching adults on the news openly admit that if they could, they would totally own slaves. The second argument was that tearing down the statue was the tearing down of history, but that is factually incorrect because history isn't statues. No, statues are lifetime achievement awards. Now, if we took away Cosby's, we got to take away Colston's. I don't know why you'd want to celebrate this guy anyway. He's a bad guy, and the UK has tons of people to be proud of, I assume. I can't think of any. Honestly, your whole history seems like one long Hunger Games to me, but, I believe in you. Protests have taken over the streets worldwide as oppressed communities have seen their own struggles reflected in the callous murder of George Floyd and the brutal police response to peaceful protests. A lot of people have been surprised at the rampantness of police brutality, but let me tell you, there's nothing surprising about it. It's actually perfectly logical, because what do we tell cops? We say if you want to catch a criminal, you got to think like a criminal. But what's better than thinking like a criminal? Acting like a criminal. Facebook didn't try to beat Instagram, they just took them over. Anyway, that's everything for today. Thank you very much. It's nice to be back. I hope you're all well and safe. Don't forget that Black Lives Matter. Do as much work as you can to educate yourself, and more importantly, to help. My name is Chris Betts. If you want to donate to the show, you can do it as always at ko-fi.com. It's kofi.com/Chris Betts. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Mr. Chris Betts. That's Mr. Chris Betts. Otherwise, take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow.